each one of us, except KEVO, who is going to be our Michelle, right? We're going to pick 5 queens based on some values. Now, what Tori did, Tori's an incredible genius, and Tori went through and created a document with every girl's placement, and then kind of like we determined what the challenge types were, and we came up with Tori, what's the acronym?
I believe that it is CUNT, Charisma, Uniqueness, Nerve, and Talent.
And we came up with values for each one of these motherfucking girls and how incredible they are. This is just about how great every one of these girls is. We are here to celebrate what makes drag so powerful. Hey everybody, there was a Rusical this week, so you know what it is, you know where this is. It's X's for Show, your premier media response show for talking everything Drag Race. And boy, do we have a whiz of a time to talk about today, or is it a chorus line? I'm NICO, and you guys can check me out at NICO Action, NICOACTION, no one my shows.
TK, it's TK Accidental.
And that makes me Tori at SM Tori, that's Tori with an I.
Hey everyone, it's Jonah. You can follow me places at Peak Jonah.
And that means I'm your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO Really. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we know what you want us to cover in the future. But yeah, this was not quite what we thought it was going to be last week. I am a huge fan of a chorus line, so I am not complaining about it in theory, but I don't know. This was strange.
You know, it really is like going to see a show called Phantom, and like you're expecting Phantom of the Opera, maybe Yeston's The Phantom of the Opera, maybe the opera Phantom of the Opera, and you get there and it is for no apparent reason the magic fucking flute, and like that is a little bit what this felt like. But I do want to say this, I felt like the marketing did a disservice to everything, but I had a great time. B+ all around, B+ performances, B+, and that's really high marks for me. I mean that really positively. B+, everybody. Even your bottoms were
Rusical.
Absolute first top queens.
Yeah, I thought all the girls did great.
For sure.
I thought it was very fun. I mean, I thought that like everything else, there were a lot of points of production letting the girls down. There's simply nobody was gonna. I mean, maybe like a Saphira Crystal could have gotten Acacia's song and made it into something. What, Jonah? I already see that.
I don't know if the problem was with the song, and I even think Acacia sung it beautifully.
Yeah.
Focaccia bread.
No,
You already forgot.
Season 1. But I do think part of the problem is Acacia talked about. What do I keep saying? Acacia forgot. Acacia forgot how to say Acacia. Acacia talked about not having musical theater training.
Yeah.
So, I don't think she was able to deliver the 11 o'clock number with the musical theaterness that somebody should be able to do.
I do agree with that. I just, listening to the song, I very much felt like this was a point that they were always going to be able to come to and say, oh, you know, it felt kind of downbeat. Yeah, because that's the song that you produced and gave to this girl. Like, it was always going to be one of those things. Similarly, the 2-person number they were always going to have in their back pocket. Oh, you got upstaged by the other girl because she was lower to the ground by dint of being shorter.
This was Jedi magic. This was definitely I have the lower ground because I'm a drag queen. I'm not even saying that those are incorrect things to notice. It's more just like and especially like Jamal bringing it up as a thing where he was like, she just literally is shorter than you, and Corey then being in the bottom. I don't know, it felt a little bit shenanigansery. You know, they all could have flopped, like there could have just been legitimate critiques if everybody had been flopping. So I kind of liked the fact that like I walked away from it being like, yeah, there's nobody here who was an absolute disaster. I thought Acacia unfortunately
did go big, didn't, she swung big but didn't really hit it. I just felt like there were, having watched so many seasons of this show and heard random critiques come up where it's just like, yeah, that was always going to be the case. It's the I really do agree that there was no way Thorgy was gonna get away with, like, nobody was gonna get away with Stevie Nicks. They were always gonna be like,
I'm
oh,
going to disagree with that for the rest of my goddamn life.
that's totally fine. You are more than welcome to.
Spin with the room.
But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with it, and I was very pleased after last week to get a challenge in which it felt like even the girl who I think notably you could see had a bit of a stumble, it was nothing compared to the Snatch game where you were just like kind of confused about who did badly and why and how it all came to this. This was just like good fun.
Tori, I feel like mathematically, law of averages, lifetime life, you have to have SM'd like 3/4 of this racket here.
The answer is no.
Shut the fuck up.
I spent more time in Shakespeare world than I did in musical world. And so, and also because for a long time, I couldn't even follow along with music. So doing large musicals is a little bit of a problem if you can't read music. And so I haven't worked any of these shows in particular. I know people who have devoted their lives to the Wicked circuit. I know people who have done a chorus line 1,000,000 times. I cried watching The Wiz live on Fox. We've all seen Wizard of Oz at some point in our lives. So like, this is just, it is definitely something that is very close to my heart and something that I am very aware of and aware of the history and the amazingness of each of these parts. But I myself have not worked on these. I have worked on things that these shows have influenced. Almost anybody who's on Broadway and is making money off of being part of the original Broadway cast can thank a chorus line for that. It's really, they are very special shows. But when we were going into it, before I knew that we were going to have a chorus line through line, I was like, these shows all have very, very different music vibes.
Right.
They are very different. And so
And
we are
emotional
either...
lessons.
Right. And so is it that we just wanted to kind of like mash everything together and see what came out? But I think that this was a really smart way of creating that through line and creating a cohesive show. Particularly, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Particularly.
I was just gonna say that, like, in particular, I was very excited to see Jamal Sims back. But I do know that we've been working with someone whose name is currently escaping me, who did the last couple, who is so fantastic at doing these. And I think a lot of people were saying that the musicals were better because of him, but I think it's just an all around much better experience that they're putting into these.
I'm just always fingers crossed that Adam is going to come back and
Adam.
Oh yeah,
True.
he's the love of my life.
Yeah, I had the Adam part. I didn't have the last name part.
Shankman. So,
I really overall agree that I think this was a good way to use a lot of different tropes from a lot of different iterations of the Wizard of Oz story. I just don't necessarily feel like all of them came together very well in a way that respected all aspects. Like, I went back and rewatched. I don't even normally do extra homework. I do production stuff, so I don't do rewatch stuff, but I rewatched this because, like I said, I love a chorus line, and I was trying to understand what the 1-for-1 was. And I looked up other people's opinions, and when I saw people say this was at the ballet, I was like, oh, it was? At the very beginning, I recognized that the alphabet number was nothing. One of the more recognized numbers from a chorus line. The measurements number was looks dance 10 looks 3.
Mm-hmm.
But like then some of the other ones, like I'm not sure what the share number was, and I don't understand what that was in the context of any of this other than Sam Starr just doing a share. And so, then there's other ones that I think won't necessarily come across for everyone. Give Me the Ball is one of my favorite smaller numbers from a chorus line, and giving that to Harlem Dorothy, who is an iteration that I love, and giving that to Anya, I thought she should have won, but it's kind of an Ellen Green situation where, of course, she didn't win. No one knows what she's doing. But other ones, I don't know. They didn't quite track for me at times, and that was where I couldn't give it quite as high a grade.
I think they're in the writer's room and they're like, well, we got to do a musical, what we want to do. And one of the writing assistants, one of the new ones, was like, oh, I love a chorus line. And they were like, Rue doesn't like musicals. She's not going to know what this is. She's not going to live for it. And they're like, okay, how do we make a chorus line like interesting for Rue? And they're like, well, Rue loves Wizard of Oz. Let's just do chorus line by way of Wizard of Oz. And they were like, brilliant, do it. I think I only have 2 gripes about this episode. The first being when we get this preview, we see what's happening. I don't think anybody, except the people who were there and the spoiler arenas, maybe knew that it was going to be a chorus line. And there's nothing wrong with that. I fairly really give this like 9s across the board of how much I enjoyed this Rusical. I think it's a really strong Rusical. But I think a lot of expectations are premeditated disappointments. That we were kind of all being like, oh, are they going to do Wicked? Are they going to do The Wizard of Oz? Are they going to do The Wiz? No, we didn't really do any of it. We had the characters from it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we were just expecting, especially with the success of the movie, not that we can predict the success of the movie, but we can kind of predict the success of the movie. Yeah. I really only felt betrayed in the sense of, oh, I wanted them to try to mix all 3 of them together. I would have loved to see that happen. But what we did get, I very, very much enjoyed. I do agree that Cher was a little out there. Cher was playing Cher from Witches of East End.
Eastwick.
No, EastEnders is a different show.
Yes.
But that's not Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I got the feeling she was the Twister.
But it wasn't.
I don't know.
And it wasn't Wizard of Oz or a chorus line. And it felt like it was one of the many things that there's so much in this that if you didn't get every aspect, the entire thing can't possibly land.
That's where I feel like, and I mean this with love, and I think you guys are doing slightly out of order here. I think somebody came in with, I have a musical of a chorus line ready to go.
Yes.
And they were like, we're not going to do it.
Coming out.
Because it can allow you to host 11 girls or however many of them were up there.
Yes.
And they don't have to do scene changes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because I sort of agree with Nico that it was... The point was, how do we keep this, which I think is a
somebody's
huge
musical
mistake.
Theater major thesis. This was somebody wrote
exactly. This. They should have dropped. This should have been done with 8 girls.
Yep.
And with a bit of being able to be a little bit more nimble. I was impressed with the thought process of how are we, the producers of Drag Race, going to produce a musical with this many girls. I just think when you're in development for the season and you ask that question, the smart person raises their hand and goes, we are actually not going to do that. We're going to do it. We're going to put Rusical later.
Episode 12.
Yeah, exactly. we need to have more, because again, like, it is the thing where it was so diluted. Corey, was in the bottom, I guess, but again, by dint of the fact that there were just so many girls, and a flying monkeys number isn't gonna be good. The low number is really, if you don't absolutely succeed in the ballad, you will plausibly be able to, they will plausibly be able to say you failed. I would have been fascinated to see what would have happened if Susie got it.
Well, can I add a question for you guys, for real? Okay, number 1, Acacia Forgot says she hates Wizard of Oz her whole life, always hated it.
Yep.
It was like literally something she did not want to do, like conceptually, and so it kind of makes sense that she went home on it. Do you guys feel that, like, because TK, you said a word that I almost like went full mistress, but you're right, it's diluted, and I hadn't thought about that. No single flavor comes across because there's too many flavors.
Yeah.
And like, do you guys feel that part of what they got judged on was what they pulled? Like,
I Here, and I really do. And here's something that I'd been percolating on since early in the broadcast that is part of that when we were talking about Acacia's number. Again, it's another one of those things where that's not the character in the story. So it's weird the way they were portraying Dorothy as this diva when her character is actually sad and desperate, which is even more Dorothy. But like that bummer downer number out of nowhere really threw off the energy because it was completely unearned. This was a medley. It was not a story. So out of nowhere, all of a sudden, everyone's really bummed out. And I really think that also was a huge factor in the audience reaction to her number. Yeah.
I would be curious if I said Susie, but Anya would be another one who has a great voice and a really strong presence. I would be really curious. And they were like, oh, Anya, despite the fact that you nailed everything, because you were a little tentative during rehearsal, the place where people are supposed to be like that, you're getting these critiques that kind of make it sound like you were in the bottom. Again, very unhinged. If she had not
win next week,
if she had not had to dance and she had done this ballad number with the voice that she has and the presence that she has, might that have been a thing? And again, Susie's another one. I don't think Susie would have done well. I think Susie's voice is phenomenal, but I think it would have been what?
I love her. I'm going to marry her. Like literally, I think Susie is perfect, but I occasionally do think Susie sort of sounds like she's performing Ani DeFranco in the original cast recording of Metropolis, the underground opera.
I get what you're saying, and I think that's basically why I think she would not have done this ballad well. I thought she ended up with kind of the best possible scenario for her. Basically, she was kind of never gonna win this. I don't know what song she could have won with. This is just not her.
Seymour.
Yeah, probably not.
My hot take, I think she should have won the episode.
I thought she was really great. I loved her.
Oh.
I thought
Susie.
Yeah. I just didn't think there was any way for her to. It was one of those things where like everybody else could impress us because we didn't know what they were going to give us. I sort of expected Susie to do good here, and so because none of the tracks were super great or standoutish, there was just I couldn't think of a track where if she had been on it, they would have been like, you were the absolute standout. The number was perfect. It was perfect for you. Where Jules and Anya both really got songs where it was like it felt like they got to surprise the audience. And I guess Sam, although I thought that Cher number was so mediocre as a production, and I thought Sam was great, but like fine. I don't know. This was such a weird part of it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jonah.
Oh, what I wanted to say was to answer your question, Nico, and it's something we talked about while we were watching. If they didn't already have essentially 3 non-elimination episodes with the premiere episode and 2 saves, where we kind of have like 3 extra episodes kind of going into it, I think this episode would have benefited so much more from 6 tops and lip syncing for the win versus having 4 people in the top and then 2 people in the bottom, which was my second gripe. That was really weird. That Jamal gave Anya the weirdest critique of like, in rehearsals you were like timid and nervous and like you didn't get it right away. It's like, okay, not everybody can get it right away. Like
literally the point of rehearsal.
I literally watched him give the opposite. You didn't get it in rehearsal, but you killed it on stage. Huzzah during Global. I was so over it. I couldn't even handle.
It felt like a weird thing to be like, Anya, you're doing too well. We can't give you the 3rd win here as much as we want to.
And
I think
part of that for us is just how seriously, specifically, we are trying to take this, and we want girls to be prepared and know what they need to be doing going into this. So, future girls are listening to these critiques, and when you zig and zag on what you tell them they're supposed to be doing, it's just weird.
And I always go back to Bob fighting with Lucian about Lorde. Like the best example of somebody who's doing great, just tanking in rehearsal in a way where you can say to them, you were horrible in rehearsal. Like it wasn't just that Bob wasn't getting it, is that Bob was resistant to the process of rehearsal and the process of being coached by a person, and Bob was the front runner. So great example of like when you go into rehearsal, you show up ready to work, even if you're flopping at the moves, as long as you are willing to learn them and try, and then you get there on stage night, it kind of doesn't matter how bad you are at the time. But if you're poorly behaved, that's a different story. Anya was fantastic, and she, this is her confessional, so who knows how she was on the day, who knows how they cut it, but like in her confessional, she's like, I'm not getting this, but I'm going to. Everything about it is like exactly what you want from a person, including showing some vulnerability, showing like, oh, I have to work for it. I don't just walk on stage and, and have it. I had to work for it. And I don't know, it was just so weird, especially because there's always that opportunity that RuPaul uses when she wants to say, everyone was so good, we're basically splitting hairs here. And if they had said, Anya, everybody was so good, we're even taking into account at this point that like maybe your rehearsal wasn't great. What do you got, Nico?
I think we're also seeing the effects of quality rot.
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing is Susie and Anya and Sam are all performing, and so many of these girls are, but I just want to say that like specifically Ru has taken a special shine to these particular 3 performers.
Yes.
It's almost like Ru is like, well, you've already impressed me so high, now the bar is too high for you.
Yeah.
And I feel like
she should say that. That's okay. Say it.
And they've said it before.
Yeah.
They've said it before.
And I feel like part of the way it's manifesting this season is in arbitrary, I expected mores. And it feels just a little bit like what I really wish we could do is I wish we could like kind of go into the production and be like, can you just put like lights, green for top, red for bottom, so we can the fuck understand, because sometimes you guys are so unclear. I cannot tell what's there's. It's going to be so stupid, but for when we get to it, we're going to have some coverage of some Eurovision songs where I cannot figure out what is happening as I'm listening to it. Like I'm audibly confused by what I'm hearing. That is how I felt about the judging on Anya. They were like, you were so good. Here's everything you did wrong. And then I even felt like some of the tops, they had such reserved positivity, but I'm actually looking at a list of all of the winners of the US. And I'm really realizing how frequently I have a fascinating relationship with the winner being the winner. And I also now realize that there are 2 seasons with 2 Rusicals, and that's nuts. And I ultimately
some of them are kind of like, it's a girl group challenge, but it happens to be RuPaul songs. Like it's a lot. I don't know. I think for me, this show really showcased that we can put something together that we really enjoy, and the girls are kind of stuck with what they do. I don't know. I agree with you that Acacia could have done more with her song. I also think that she probably had the least choreography input from Jamal, and probably could have used Jamal being like, all right, so let's talk about strong, like, stature and like simple movements and like how to make it visually interesting, as opposed to just like existing on stage. How to at least let your body have presence in these things. And I think she could have gotten that. I think that I'm gonna be honest, I think the monkeys thing was incorrectly choreographed. I think it should have been a double act where they're both doing the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
And then Corey King is the step out. And by making it so that Corey is behind instead of next to, it becomes a whole other thing. And I think that did not serve the pair either. Is this production's choices of being like, hey, make it a little tougher for some of these things? Then yes, it's possible. But I think that some of these choices were given to these girls, and they couldn't. If you aren't ready with something of your own to bring, you ain't got nothing. Susie probably wasn't given a whole lot of choreo in that opening number besides the lift, but she has the self-direction to do some amazing things. And I honestly would have loved to see more of how much is her, how much is Jamal, because I honestly think that that's a better skill to have, to be able to fill the space when someone doesn't give you direction. So that's something for me. I don't know. I don't agree when people say that Corey King should have been the Good Witch. I think that could have been funny. I think it would have been a bigger flop. I think this Dorothy role period is built to be a flop, but we have noticed that almost every lead in a Rusical can be a flop, and 8 times out of 10 it is. I think that if you're going to put a chorus line into a musical, you better be precise. The girls did a very good job with their kick lines. They were pretty solid. The opening was a little flighty in the back, but they did a pretty good job of the precision required for the chorus line. But they didn't do the triangle, so thank God, or else we would have all seen nothing good. So yeah.
Just to travel back in time on MTV for a second, I just realized this has a Sam, Susie, and Anya instead of Sam, Susie, and Elvis.
Can someone do any amount of job for me that is very funny? It took me a second. It's been 25 years, man. Can someone convince me why these 3 shouldn't have been in the bottom? Because I don't understand why Corey was in the bottom and they weren't. Because I don't, again, on rewatch, I don't think there was anything strong enough. You know, I'm thinking about who the lip sync was, and I kind of feel bad for both of them because I was both unimpressed and kind of annoyed at this number, personally.
I think these 3 all did fine, and they happened to somehow magically do equally fine. If one of them had been ahead or below, it would have been
equal mediocre unit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
an equally fine unit. They did
with no standout, because I think that Lydia and Corey did equally fine, but then they found these insane things to say that were wrong with Corey, like she's higher.
You're a mutant.
Well, and I also think the double act might have been built for, in case Susie took the Dorothy role and they can't knock it for that much, that they could have sent the 2 flying monkeys against each other, and we could have had what Jonah thinks and I both think are coming, is the Lydia versus Corey, Brooke versus Angie lip sync.
I completely
the sugar and
see
spice
that.
of it all.
I bet it's going to be for
that.
something wild like the roast. I bet it's going to
Scent
be something.
challenge.
I don't. Not to spoil too much, but we know what we're doing next week. But the week after is the roast.
Oh, that's a lot of girls for the roast. It's a lot of girls.
It's going to be 8 girls, which is, it's not a bad number for a roast. My argument, so I even before this episode, I've been re-listening to this because I actually really enjoy a lot of, not only just the performance, just there's the vocals. This group, I think, did well. I would maybe give them like a solid 8.5. I thought everyone did pretty well. I actually thought Lexi did happen to do the best. I think she was able to nail the idea of the lion voice.
Yeah, she had that
really well. But, there was a lot of rallying I've seen for this number because they managed to harmonize very well when they were singing. The way they were able to put it together through post-production, the harmonies were harmonying, and I think it's unless you put all 3 in the bottom, it's really hard to justify a singular person from here. Unless someone did so bad, like they missed their cues, missed the lip sync, like they were nervous on stage. Outside of a situation like that, I think it's hard to put any one of them in the bottom because these were not winning roles, but these weren't also losing roles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the 3 girls in the Sound of Rusic. I don't think any of them ended in the bottom that week.
Megami did.
Oh, Megami did?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think what we're trying to say is this is 3 end Peggies. And it's just kind of like, how do you punish any of the end Peggies when it's not really any of their faults? It's, that's one of the other things that kind of sonically caught me about this Rusical was it was uniquely flat. And I don't mean that as an aggressive thing. There are a lot of shows that are beautifully flat. Find me the musical high point in one of my favorite shows ever, Cabaret. You kind of can't. There's no musical high point. There's emotional high point, but like, there's no song where you're like, well, that shit tore the house down. I sort of feel like that's sort of like the same with Les Mis Act 2. No offense, all of Les Mis Act 2. But I feel like we wind up in this position where like this was like, kind of like Jonah said, this was a solid 8.5 across the board for me. And the thing it really lacked was dynamic hills and valleys. It's almost why I think Jonah was right so early on. 6 tops, no bottoms.
Yeah.
I do think though, Sam Star, you know why you were so wonderfully lucky, suited, perfectly serendipitous into this role? Because you managed to turn this into a win because you have all this talent and you totally understood how to get this role, but this role should not have been in this show. And it's so weird that this role is in this show. I don't know if it's because Cher is every gay's fairy godmother or something. I don't know. But like the problem that I even have with this is like it's less of an actual Cher reference and it's more of a reference to this show's references to Cher. And so this actual character is fucking nonsense and makes no fucking sense. And but Sam Star is so talented. She doesn't just take this dumb role and do it. She takes this dumb role and she just tears the house down like from the rafters. It was really impressive.
It was very surprising to find out that Sam was a musical theater girly. Not because I don't think that doesn't fit her, but because she talked about she was a cheerleader. She comes from pageantry, and so I thought that was maybe where her interests more lie. Not that anybody can't have a varied interest. I've seen High School Musical. We don't have to stick to the status quo, but seeing that picture of her in high school as Ursula, which, Mama, by the way, that high school had budget.
Damn for that high school. God damn. They had budget and they weren't afraid to put a boy in drag. Are you kidding me? Good for that.
Again, fairy godfather Charles Barkley. So let's not forget, where she's from.
Bork.
Bork. But it was so fascinating and even just kind of lovely. Just maybe even part of the win was just seeing those kind of layers a little bit peel from Sam, where she even talked about it. I thought this was a pageant. I came in as a pageant where you stand poised, you look, you smile at the judges, and you don't really crack. And I think, taking a note from Shrek, peeling back some layers like an onion, I think kind of maybe even that's maybe why the judges gave her the win of opening up to be like, this is a little bit more about who she is.
Sam would do a great Fiona in Shrek the Musical, actually.
She'd be lovely. Real quick, I think I mentioned last episode how I felt that Crystal Envy suffered for Sam Star being in the room, that they were too close of an archetype. I think Sam Star's tight little pageant butthole was because Crystal was next to her. And because they pretty often were like right next to each other doing their makeup, going through challenges together, like just feeding off that pageant energy with each other. And not doing the like snippy thing that it allowed Sam to just be like, oh yeah, put up all the pageantry stuff and just be pitch perfect crystal glass figurines, the two of us. And now that Crystal's gone, Sam needs new buddies and now can let go a little more than she felt comfortable with her pageant sister.
Yeah.
Fascinating read.
I also really love how I didn't clock it before this, but that's the most Hazlitt shit I've ever seen. That chain that Crystal is wearing is the most fucking
I know.
Woodbridge Center Mall shit.
I watched the Watch It Pack, and she was born in Staten Island, baby.
Motherfucker, this is Menlo Park nonsense.
She's wearing a lot of rings. Do you want to ask if she's gay?
Okay, the first thing I ever said to KEVO.
Listen, I wear a lot of rings.
First thing he ever said to me in January of 2007 on site was,
You wear a lot of rings.
Are you gay?
I hope that's how you propose to. You wear a lot of rings, one another.
No,
Oh!
that's really clever. I actually proposed with a pocket watch. Like
We developed too much canon by then. We didn't need to go back to the pilot anymore. Anyway,
Got it. Love it.
I fucking love that, Kevo. You're a visionary of language. The other thing I want to say about this episode that I'm constantly reminded is there is no end to the cool bravery inside of you. We saw girls say earlier this season, I don't sing. I don't feel good about singing. It does not make me happy. Here they sang their hearts out. I was so inspired by these girls that some people can tell you, I fucking rapped to try and put together the girl group songs for this draft that we do. But not because I was like, well, because I'm the best rapstress since Lemon. No, because these girls inspired me. So many of them were like, this is outside of my comfort zone. And it wasn't just that they pushed through and they performed. It's that they performed in the grand tradition of what this has become. There are people for whom this is their musical theater. This is where they get that from. This is their joy, their soundtrack. When we see Drag Race Live, which is like kind of like our, it's the Polycules it's our little family's thing now. Like we go and see it, and it's so special to us, and we know where to sit. So Asia will stand near you, so I can be near Asia. And
we need to move again. Ugh.
And we specifically love getting there early because they play all the Rusicals straight through on a video loop before the show starts. And, you just, it's a grand tradition. People around the world know these songs, truly. And that every one of these girls played it like it was an honor. They played it with respect. I had made a comment that I felt during the Snatch game that some of these girls did impressions of real people with less respect than they look to be discussed with online. I felt that every girl this week showed me that that was an edit thing, not who they are. I was just so, as a musical theater, boy, was really, really happy, and just want to thank all of them for taking what I love as seriously as they do.
Yeah, they were really rock stars about this. Honestly, I know Chorus Line is a very difficult show. All of these shows are very difficult to put on in general. So to be able to slam this choreography, put yourself into a costume that you did not make. Arietti, I saw you realize that this costume is not up to your standards. It's fine. You look fine. But it is, I think, it is a testament to how hard these girls work, how talented they already all are. And while I don't disagree with the elimination this week, I do find myself an Acacia stan. It started last week and it has moved into this. I like her a lot.
I definitely posted something pretty X-rated about how much I like her, and go because she's pretty good, and I want to take her on a date to the Olive Garden and treat her like a fancy lady. Unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks, baby. I'm here for you. No, all seriousness. Tori, you're absolutely right. I really love how you said it. More and more, Acacia.
Love.
Everybody, talk Rusical. Get your feels out.
Gosh, what classics do we have to look forward to? Especially if we know that the roast is so early on the schedule. We've gotten through Snatch. The thing about this franchise is there are staples, and there are places that you expect them. Normally, I feel like roast is like the penultimate challenge. So it really feels like this season is moving at a very strange speed. What notable challenges are even left?
Yeah, it's one of those. The reason why I balk at 8 for a roast is that I believe that Snatch Game shouldn't be larger than 8, and the roast shouldn't be larger than 6. Specifically because the roast, and not the stand-up, the roast is let's all make the same joke specifically about one person has to be included, and you get to a certain point where you're like, we have heard 17 Michelle's old jokes today. Not even counting all the ones before. That is what we have heard today.
Yeah,
And
they were all before the challenge started too. It was really weird.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was just RuPaul up there on the runway, just giggling in a gown for hours. And so to me, like, and I think that they had kind of understood that. That's why the roast kept moving further and further out past even the makeover. Like the roast started being after the makeover for a little bit. And so to have it so soon, I'm just very fascinated because it feels like I wouldn't say that we have comedy queens. We have queens who can do comedy. So normally when we push these kinds of ones forward, it's either because we believe that no one's going to be good at it, or we have a bunch of people who are very good at it. We need to weed some of them out first.
Right.
And so I'm very interested. Thank you for that tidbit.
I think the other thing that this episode really reminded me is we've missed out on so many girls being amazing in Rusicals, or kind of like, luckily for their sake, diving out of one because maybe they're not a vocalist and they don't want to do it, or they're not like a step ball change kind of dancer. And it's so interesting that now we cannot possibly afford as a franchise to cast girls who can't kind of do a little bit of everything. And I really wonder what those conversations on webcam are like leading up to the inevitable, you did it, you're cast, you're the girl, where they're like, so no, tell me though, I understand you've never done musical theater, but what kind of dance experience do you have? If somebody put dance numbers in front of you, could you learn a little step ball change for us real quick? Show us, do you have any video of you doing anything like that? Because I don't think they're willing to let anybody look foolish, and I don't think they're looking to look foolish.
Yeah, something tells me that they are probably trying to pack their season with about, if there's 14 girls, 10 of them are going to be at least 7s or 8s in everything that could happen. And then it's just finding those 9s or 10 and which one you want to tap on the head at the end. I think it's interesting because I think it means that we will see an evening out of a lot of challenges on things. I don't think we're going to get someone who is very good at one thing anymore. And so then the question becomes like, what are we crowning? Are we crowning an all-over queen? Are we crowning a queen that we can place on top of this kind of archetype and say, this is your queen? Like, because sometimes it feels like we do that with like your UK Parthenons or your Canadas, where they're trying to choose different genres. But for us, it's different. And it's interesting to me to kind of figure out where that line is.
And I love that conversation about it. I think we're getting dangerously close to, we need to kind of burn it down and reinvent the Rusical. I personally...
Not again, not another week.
For number 18, I want something so weird, and I would really like to rue it all together for season 18 and do a review of all the best numbers from previous Rusicals.
Wow!
Like a putting it
That'd be
together,
hot.
like a...
I was gonna jokingly
for
say
you.
Smoke with Joe's. Oh, you love me.
No, I love you excellently. And it's,
songs from a new world, like that kind of stuff.
God, song cycles. Let's get
Songs
into
from a Rue world.
Can we
Songs from a Rue world. Oh my God, we just titled it.
Can we perform chess with
Call
Josh
out
Groban? Can
right
I
now.
perform chess with Josh Groban on
Chess
Drag Race?
would be dress.
Tress would.
Or chest, actually. No, never mind.
Chest.
I was forgetting who the audience was. Rue would be chest. Breast.
I would really love to see a review of all the best songs from Rusicals gone by, and you can do a lot with that. There's so much talent in these previous performances that these girls are so inspired by. Let's showcase that we're not just big fans of Debbie and Judy, and let's show that we're big fans of Shay and Gigi. Let's go that next step and let's begin to interpolate the internal canon of Rusicals to elevate them. And then with that, we're going to move to the draft. So guys, get your Rusical feelings out. Rue me up.
I'm very interested by that idea because I do love it, and I do think that we should. And I think they may do it for like the 20th season or something, or when we hit our 15th Rusical or something. That might be fun. But don't you think that we might Ouroboros ourselves into this whole thing where we're just chomping on canon to make more canon kind of thing?
You know,
That's how art works, baby.
I guess that is spoofdom.
I would feel that way if it was Sarasota Wind and Daytona Wind got a spinoff. I would if I was meeting Loja Mashed Potatoes, Tasha Salad's crazy cousin. Like, I would really feel that way if
Not Masha
it was.
Potatoes.
Loja Potatoes is actually too good.
So anyway, I am deranged and damaged, and I just want to say real quick, Courtney Act, Ginger Minge, Chi-Chi DeVane, Shea Coulee, The Vixen, Cameron Michaels, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, Gigi Good, only person to win 2 regular series Rusicals, Rose, one of my all-time favorites, Lady Camden, Anitra, Plasma, again one of my all-time favorites, and Sam Starr. Congratulations for all winning main series Rusicals. Quite incredible.
Also, do yourself a favor and watch Plasma on Pit Stop. Or just watch Plasma, period.
Oh my God, watch Plasma. Anything. We were lucky enough to see her in Maine on the street cosplaying Christopher Robin. I turned to TK and I'm like, that person's cosplaying Christopher Robin. And TK goes, I think that's Plasma. But we did see her perform that night, and she is a Netflix He-Man series. She's a revelation. So I am such a big Sarah Michelle Gellar fan. I had to make the reference. Also, little nod to Alyssa, Detox, Dela, Jan, Candy, Georges, and Chanel, and also, another person, all for winning All Stars Rusicals. Lots of love for everybody out there. I love the Rusical, not just because I love the Rusical, but because I love the fucking Rusical. And you know what, Andrew? I will say this. Adam Lambert did look very good. I tend to think Adam Lambert is one of the finest vocalists of his generation. Truly a Freddie Mercury. And I don't say that lightly, but the guy can hit every note. No, seriously, he looks like gay Mr. Freeze. You don't
get invited to take Freddie Mercury's place in his own band in Queen, or their own band, if you're not amazing. And I also love how comfortable he is here. Like, he feels like a judge that has come back in like a main judge that has come back. Like, this is a victory lap kind of vibe. That's how comfortable he is.
I was actually kind of surprised when I thought about it that he hadn't been on more.
I mean, he's been on several times for like a surprisingly high celebrity judge. He's been on several times.
Yeah.
Ooh, Andrew, start typing it in, start pasting it in. Andrew did some crazy shit this past weekend, you guys should definitely hear all about how Andrew saw Adore Delano. And so definitely start dropping that in the chat.
Does.
Can't wait to flash that. But TK, instead, you're about to flash us?
What?
You were about to say something. What?
No.
Oh. You want to flash us?
I guess I gotta get prepared for that now. No, I have no further thoughts on. Oh, the one thing I kind of thought was I like the Adam Lambert song. I had never heard that song before. I very much enjoyed it. I think Adam Lambert is an incredible vocal. Again, you don't get to be vocalist of Queen without being pretty incredible, but I have not super responded to an Adam Lambert song since 2003. Is that the right timing?
That
2005.
maybe makes it sound like you hung out with him in middle school, and if that's the
No,
case,
I vaguely remember that season of American Idol. But yeah, that was
a.
a
in fairness, I could not name one of his songs off the top of my head right
yeah,
now.
exactly.
But I agree with him.
Yeah, I enjoyed that song.
I made you listen to "Man with the Bag" 100
Oh,
times.
but that's only Christmas.
Made.
No, that's a maid. That is absolutely a maid. There are some Christmas songs I have since gotten into, but that and "You Make It Feel Like Christmas" are two that I have been dragged kicking and screaming into. I'm a little more charmed by "You Make It Feel Like Christmas" now because it's also funny. Yeah.
So Andrew met Adore and her boyfriend and guitarist. I've seen some pics. It's all very cute. I think that's so great. I can't recommend supporting Adore enough. She is an everything bagel. It will be in your teeth for weeks. Love her so much. Can't say enough about how great she is.
The Rusicals are great, especially of recent years. The Rusical just keeps getting better and better and better every single year. It makes me happy. I love it. I can tell most of the queens, for the most part, most people tend to have a decent time. But we really, really in the past years haven't had like a disastrous performance in the Rusical, which makes me happy to see people doing well, doing solid, doing good. Will say, I still agree with the Corey win. It's very fascinating. We had two queens lose wigs and lip syncs and still win
In 2 weeks. Oh, I never want to hear anything about a wig ever again. Ever again. Ever again.
I love the Lydia confessional. I told her to glue it down. And then
They showed it on Talk too. It was
I love, if y'all don't follow Corey King on social media, you're missing out. She made a video of just the wig falling off, and it was really good. And she is the queen of social media to me. She's so good.
She does great stuff. And good for her. All of a sudden, like the stars aligned, the planets moved into place, and suddenly she's walking down the runway in her Dorothy Gale inspired outfit, which is so wonderful.
That was not planned.
Nope.
They don't know the order they're going to do any of these runways. The fact that they chose this runway for this challenge just happened. It's serendipity. It happened to just work out for her.
So funny.
Yep.
I actually want to say something. If you happen to have a still of Corey in that outfit, this is the fucking dumbest reference ever. But way before I was a drag boy, I was fat. And so I used to love eating Little Debbie cakes.
Oh yeah.
And Little Debbie one year had a Little Debbie Barbie. And I swear to God, the parts of this that are not exactly Dorothy Gale are 200% such a beautiful almost reference to like elements of that classic style of like Little Debbie Barbie that like sits in my mind forever. And like, I think this
Oh my
was...
God, you're right.
Do you see it? Did you look it up? Do you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unfucking believable, right?
Yeah.
I
I
think Corey King reminded us this week why she is beautiful, why she is talented. That hair, this outfit, the parasol, and the basket. I was following her around like Toto this week. I just really thought she reminded us there is a reason she is Corey Royalty King. And I was so pleased. I was just really happy to see her have a good week, honestly, because I know she was in the bottom, but it was the bottom of tops. And that's, oh my God, you see it, guys? It's insane. It's like nuts where it borrows and references. And with the hat, with the umbrella behind her, the reference is so powerful. It's so cool. I just think Corey King is really living up to that royalty this week. I'm just so excited.
Ooh, and Corey gets to have the red shoes instead of the silver ones because she's doing a parody instead of a full thing. Acacia had the silver shoes. Which also,
Yeah.
thank God this community actually knows what they're talking about because I didn't see one goddamn reference to, why doesn't Acacia have on red shoes? Didn't see it. Love that.
They might have just cut it, but let's have faith.
Oh my gosh, you could actually... Oh, okay. Listen, I know you're watching. World of Wonder, It's Time to Call Me, because we will do George Michael Wham the Rusical next season, and
Whamilton.
Whamilton.
You're welcome.
Gonna
CC
gonna-
me.
Okay, this is, I mean, obviously my stage manager. I can't live without my director. I would melt. So okay.
I also have to give it up to Kevo for this episode title, The Okoru's Lie. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah,
I'm
no, this
so
is,
proud.
It's worthy of pride.
And, part of me wondered if they didn't hop on the Wicked bandwagon because For Good isn't out yet and they can technically still do a Wicked Rusical next year. I feel like Wizard of Oz over the last century and change has become so much more about its tropes that it makes sense to do Wizard of Oz tropes through a chorus line. But, we're still assimilating Wicked. I feel like you could still do a Wicked Rusical and it would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
all right. I'm gonna pull us into the draft. It's drafty times.
Woo!
I am so excited. Our draft today is it's really exciting. I'm really excited to bring you guys the songs. Everybody, the song in the background is Excellence. It goes like this. You guys, I knocked everything under my desk over. Oh my god, I destroyed everything. Terrific. So this song in the background that you can't hear under the cacophony. We will get to the girl group challenge and the Rusical. I'm really excited. But this week, we kind of reorganized some stuff. Like on the back end, we're still developing this game. We can't wait to play it again, and we've learned so much. And we're all having such a good time. But I want to remind everybody about where we're at with the game and what's going on. Current standings here on Draft Race Live after 3 weeks. NICO's production team features Saphira with 1 point. Jonah's production team, son of a bitch, has Rose with 1 point, Nymphia with 1 point, and Bianca with 1 point. So many points. Over on production team TK, we got Katya with 1 point. And then Tori with the all-time lip-synciest assassin on her team, Roxy with 1 point. Now, we have played Superlatives. We've played Horoscopes. And now, today, we are going into a new challenge where we're playing Candyman Land, where if this was in person, there would be a giant Candyland board, and there would be sexy men's on the board, and
with meat hooks.
Yeah, there would be the pit crew men, and we'd bump them with our bodies to make Maddie uncomfortable. And it was so weird. Why not just let Maddie have a good time? I felt like that was straight shaming. I felt so bad for Maddie.
We will get a tit crew someday. I will personally make it happen.
I love tits, so I'm in. But the way this game goes like this: every producer is going to roll a D5. High number gets +1 point. Ties get +2 points. First person to 10 wins. Pretty straightforward, and in person, we would be rubbing our junk on pit crew members, and it would be silly and hot. So, here you go. So everybody, please get out roll D5s.
Oh, hold on.
That's
a weird one. That's a weird one.
Okay, so they're
Oh, no, wait.
D10s and cut in half.
Oh, yeah. I don't...
TK, you're trying
Yeah,
again?
I don't
I've got
have
a
a D5.
D5 roller.
Yeah,
if you go
hold
to
on.
rolladie.net, it'll give you a D5.
roller. Okay. There it is.
You guys can just type in roll. Oh no, I guess you can't.
No,
Yeah,
Google doesn't do it.
The
That's what we're
Google
all-
one doesn't have a 5.
What is it? Rolladie.net.
Yeah, rolladie.net.
Terrific.
And they've got a D5.
/roll-a-. D5/-die. Thanks, rolladie.net. Home for all of your die rolling needs.
I'm ready. Who else is ready?
I got
Ready.
die.
All right. I rolled the 2.
I rolled a.
I also rolled a 2.
What'd you get,
I had to
Tori?
sorry, I had to hit stop. 3.
I also rolled a 2.
Oh,
Okay. So Tori gets +1 because she has the high number, but everybody else gets +2 because they have a tie. I did not expect that many people to get a tie on the first roll. Okay, roll again.
I have a 1.
I got a 5.
I got a 4.
I got a 3.
All right, so I get +1 because I got the high roll. All right. Ooh, so I'm at 3. Cute for me. Roll. I got a 3.
I got a 3.
4 again.
I also got a 4.
Ooh, okay. So TK gets +3, JoJo gets +3, NICO gets +2, and Tori. Okay, so Tori, you're at 3.
Uh-huh.
Jonah, you're at 5. TK, you're at 6, and I'm at 4.
One more? What are we doing? Yeah?
Roll again.
Rolling again. 5.
5.
1.
All right. So JoJo, so TK, this is so hard to do live. I'm at 7. Tori, you're at 4. So the current standings are NICO at 7, TK at 6, Jonah at 5, Tori at 4.
I hope everyone is imagining all those swinging pit crew members.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right. I
Mhm.
rolled a 4.
Oh, are we doing another roll?
Yeah, we got it.
4.
I set rules, so.
He's got a 1.
5.
Ooh.
Okay. So TK, you're at 7. I'm at 9. Tori's at 6. And Jonah's at 5. Last roll, because someone's going to win this time no matter what.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. 1.
3.
Ooh. Yay, TK. We did it.
All right. I did it. I hit 11. So I'm the winner of the mini challenge. Feels good. Feels correct. So, all right, guys, I won. I won Candyman Land, where we bumped our stuff into Hot Men. This week's drama is Snip, Snip, Bitch, in which all producers have a random queen on their team removed. So, what everyone needs to do is you need to number your queens you can pick from 1 through 4. And roll a D4 to see who you can't use this week.
1 through 5.
5.
1 through
Oh,
4.
1 through-
because
sorry,
you can
1 through
only
4.
Use 4.
Right.
So
There's
here's
5
one who
girls.
entirely is cut out.
Yeah.
Just for the week.
Yeah.
And there's the girl that you can't use because you can't use. You got to pick a girl to not pick from last week,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
pick 4 girls, and then D4 one of them out. However, as the winner of Snip Snip Bitch, I get to pick my girl. So, everybody, these are our teams. KEVO's flashing them on the screen. So, while we're doing this, one of the things, just to remind everybody at home how we play, is we use the idea that the performances that the girls have given on the series so far are sort of like their stats and scores based on how they've done throughout the series. Now, Tori went through and organized everything within an inch of her human sanity and was able to come up with metrics with the help of things like Drag Race Wiki, Jonah, TK, and myself. And we were able to come up with a series of rules and metrics. And so you guys can always kind of expect that we're going to do this about 1 hour into the show each week and have a good time with it. So when you're ready, everybody should have their 3 girls picked for them. using the metric. So when you're ready, TK, you want to say your team?
I got Bob, Jada, and Miss Willow Pill.
Amazing. All right, Tori, are you ready to go with yours?
Yes. So I got it's so sorry. No, I need to restart. My brain is
No, it's serious. I just want to say
You're asking me for my 4 girls or for my final? I've already
Your 3
rolled in
girls.
your mind. Okay, so I already need to roll.
Okay,
And
yeah, but
stop.
and can you just
Okay.
remind us the category that this challenge affects?
It'll be uniqueness.
It'll be uniqueness.
Uniqueness, knife, and talent. I rolled a 1. My number 1 is Shea Coulee. So then I'm running with Roxy, Plastique, and Morphine.
Ooh, what a fucking fashion team, though. I mean, like, if somebody's picking your team for you, that's a team. Now, once again, you said this is uniqueness, right? That's the stat this affects. Very
Yeah.
excited. Jojo, do you have your team?
Yes. I rolled a 4, so Rose will be sitting this challenge out, but I will be using my top 3 there of Trinity, Naomi, and Nymphia.
Ooh, I love seeing Naomi in a fashion challenge, right? And then Nymphia, love that so much. Now, for me, I get to pick the girl that I'm leaving out, so I'm very grateful for that. I will be entering Miss Vanjie. I will be entering Saphira. And I will be entering Miss Raja O'Hara. So I am very excited to announce that this week we are throwing a ball! And we bring it to you every ball. This week, it's the Found Items Founders Ball. You're going to have to come up with 3 looks based on 3 separate criteria. Number 1, you're going to have to come up with a look based on American Promise, the future USA of your dreams. Number 2, Founding Mothers, paying tribute to drag mothers and drag house mothers. And number 3, Founding Moments in Drag Herstory, using found objects from Rusical's past. Now, everybody's been given the list of Rusicals, so they know what was found in the prop closet to pick through. And we will be saying what girls we're putting in what looks and just giving a cute little breakdown. Please, guys, we are not as talented as these girls. We're not sewing anything together, though evidently several people in this group are taking on some sewing knowledge, learning things where I'm just going to keep being like, excuse me, hot older boyfriend, fix it. So y'all can do that. I won't.
He embroidered your bathrobe. How dare you?
He really did.
I'm so jealous.
Anyway, he's going to be home Thursday. I'm very excited.
Yay!
Yeah. The challenge, right, is 3 looks, right? And I'm going to make those items available to everybody in our little private chat so that everyone can comfortably read through this. It'll also be available to KEVO, of course, so he can flash it as necessary. Now, one of the things to remember is the way this voting works is everybody's going to say their idea, and then we're going to cast our votes privately for each other's girls and say how we feel. Now, additionally, any girl whose cunt score is in the tops of the tops receives an additional bonus in their voting average. Now, it has actually played a factor and has pushed some winners into winning. So that bonus is definitely no joke, right? It's like the behind the prize bullseye bonus on Price is Right. It really does get you the trip. So keep an eye out. Now, I think that one of the things that is so exciting about the ball challenge that I love so much is when you're doing the ball challenge, the girls all have the opportunity to show so many different looks. And I learned something I hadn't known. And this was something that I felt kind of like learned by. Evidently, and I can't remember what girl said it, and I feel terrible about that. But one of the previous season girls revealed that it's very probable that Arietti was spared during the Snatch Game episode because of how quick she was able to change her makeup. Or was it during the ball look? She was able to change her makeup. Thank you. It was during the ball look.
Yeah, she won the ball because she.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got all my stories backward. She won the ball almost in part because she was able to change her makeup so quickly that
Yes.
it was remarkable. But that also, anytime you might have felt that she did a weird job, like in the Snatch Game, her makeup skills to be able to put that together in the time it takes to get ready to go on is still in and of itself incredible. And like, so there is so much to the way a girl does her face that people literally say, oh, a great runway can save you from an uneven episode. The fact that a ball gives these girls opportunities to often show off 3 looks is so incredible. Now, we don't have the opportunity to do 9 looks between 3 girls. That's too much. Our brains would rot. We're just doing 1 girl per look. Put your girl in a look, get her out the door, and have a good time. But I think the main thing about balls that I've really come to learn is it is so hard to do 1 style, let alone 3. It's amazing that these girls can pull that off every single season. So I'm ready when you guys are. So, chime in when you know what you're going to pitch. And then be sure to take notes on all your girlfriends and, get out there and do the thing. If you guys would like, I'm happy to start. But I don't want to hog the story. Anybody want to go first? All right, then I got this.
Yeah.
You got it. So for American Promise, The Future of Your Dreams, I have Miss Vanjie coming out in a techno graduation suit. She is coming out with like a super blinged out like visor style. It has stuff flashing across her cap with her tassel, which is like strobing. And she's coming out and she is the future graduate of America, all decked out in lights all over. LEDs might be out, but not for this bitch. She can light up the night with her future. It's so bright. And she comes out looking all kinds of fabulous. For Founding Mothers, Saphira comes out as a supermodel era RuPaul, having a great time rocking that original look that sat in that wonderful makeup chair in the music video, just looking her best. And then Raja O'Hara comes out in the Madonna bodysuit from the Madonna Rusical, serving you black excellence in a black bodysuit, doing the walk that Gigi made look so effortless and so classic once again, living up the Madonna Rusical best. Oh my God.
Yes. Oh, this is going to be a lot easier now that I'm realizing each girl can be a category. I was picking things for all 3. Okay.
I can go, and then that way it'll give Tori a little more time. Okay, so Willow comes out for the Future of America look, and she has worked with a prominent special effects artist, and she comes out basically in a gown with a train of body parts that are on fire. And she looks vaguely like she has been in an explosion. Her makeup is very like it's soot based, and the hair is very big because it's blown back. And that is how she walks down the runway. And So that's her look. Bob for God, I forgot the titles, but the drag mother one.
Founding mother.
Founding mother. Bob does a tribute to his drag mother, Peaches Christ. And it is, on the surface, as soon as it starts, you think it's a hot mess because it's a little bit white chicks because Peaches paints so alabaster. But it actually looks really fantastic. And he does the really signature Peaches Christ eyebrow really fantastic. It's just a great tribute to his drag mother. And finally, we have Jada with Moments in Drag Herstory doing a tribute to Alyssa Edwards' Annie Oakley performance from All Stars, in which she is wearing the wig, but she is dressed in a gown that is a gun. And so the barrel is right around her midsection, and it comes up to a long neck piece. And it's just gorgeous, sort of chromed out silver, and it looks really perfect with the giant wig, and that's what happens.
I love it. Tori or Jonah, is either producer ready with their what do they call it? Oh my God, their package. Is either producer's package already cut?
My package, I think, is cut. I think I'm ready. We are going to start off with, for the future that America has promised, is starring my good friend and yours, Plastique Tiara. She is going to come out in the kind of super futuristic hot bodysuit. She's got a helmet kind of thing. She reveals she's a little more alien. She is America and the promises of future and equality taken to the stars kind of vibe.
Interesting.
And then I think and then for the house mothers, we've got Roxy coming in and giving a full loving tribute to Erica Andrews, as she had done previously with her holding out for a hero. This is going to be extremely touching. Is Roxy gonna cry? Yes. Am I gonna cry? Also. Like, just gorgeous, stunning, beautiful, made by herself from home. And then while we are creating things from props, and Miss Morphine is not the best at creating things, the amount of pussy she's gonna serve with her Glamazonian Airways airline items as she comes down there in her Britney Toxic-esque outfit, she's ready to play.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So for my first look, the future USA, Nymphia is going to come out in a solar punk inspired look. For those who don't know, solar punk is the opposite of cyberpunk, where cyberpunk is grim dark of this technological future. Solar punk is about positivity and using technology to enhance. It's about lightness, it's about growth, it's about positivity, it's about community. And it's also going to get to involve yellow because there's a lot of sunshine.
Of course.
Yeah.
For a founding mother's look, I think we need to give it up to Trinity the Tuck Taylor, because she's currently a mother with a daughter on screen. Why not honor herself as starting and birthing someone who is going to help carry on her legacy that she's still running, she's still rolling with. So let's give it up for Trinity the Tuck Taylor. And then for my whole for the Rusical found props one, I took this in a slightly different direction, and Naomi Smalls is going to do someone from a halftime show. She's going to dress as SZA and do a SZA performance and eat everybody up.
I love it. As long as she has the prop from a previous Rusical, she's fine. She can find anything. I don't care if it's a pair of shoes. She's in. Also,
she has the piano from Jan's number.
No one has ever made a mistake channeling SZA ever. I love SZA so much. Maybe that's what Susie was trying to say. She was trying to call SZA Okay, well,
She SZA's from Jersey. We don't take those kind of calls.
No.
So we are casting our votes for which girls are on the top, on the bottom. I did a quick write-up. So to remind everybody, producer TK, it has Bob modeling for the founding mother look as Peaches Christ, Jada modeling the Rusical look, channeling Annie Oakley, and Willow modeling the American Promise look with a gown of flaming body parts. I love my notes. Tori has Roxy in the Ma look, doing Erica Andrews. I have not seen Roxy cry that much since Jinx won an award. Plastique in the American Promise look and a future bodysuit of the stars, mama. And Morphine in a Rusical Glamazonian Airways look. JoJo, as a producer, has Trinity in the Founding Mothers look as herself. Naomi channeling SZA with beautiful elements from previous Rusicals. And Nymphia bringing that American Promise in Solar Punk, lighting up the night. I myself, as a producer, was lucky enough to enter Vanjie in the American Promise as Attack Grad. Saphira as Mama Ru herself for a Founding Mother. And Raja, oh my God, as Madonna from the Madonna Rusical in the bodysuit. I think she's probably just wearing like the wig, but she's like doing her own bodysuit, her own shoes. She's Raja O'Hara, and people are lining up to make her outfits for her because she's so fucking glamorous. So I am super excited to talk about these votes. Everybody send your votes to me. So Kevo, what was your favorite part about sitting back and producing this one?
I think this is such a fun exercise in imagination. I know anyone who is watching the cutback of this, where we are going to be putting in, more fluid graphics that are based more directly on everyone's choices. I'm going to put in pictures. But, we're experiencing it live as we are playing it live. And it is such a fun experience of seeing everyone come up with all these things on the fly. So many amazing fun ideas. Going back and editing the gameplay for episode 2, where we did the acting challenge, NICO literally heard me react screaming out loud when Ginger Minge burst in. Lawrence Chaney, that's who it was. I'm sorry. I was thinking our Drag Race Live show, but no, you're Lawrence Chaney cameo out of nowhere. Because you know what? That is the fluid, cartoonish, Animaniac style of the fact that we are playing a game of this. You can pull something like that in for fun. Why not?
And I mean, I gotta say, I was inspired by the fact that Lawrence Chaney just randomly showed up like 2 weeks ago. And yelled at them about cock and left. So I figured it wouldn't be hard to get her for Daphne.
Something that we also love on this channel is comic books. And one of the great things about comic books is there is such an unlimited budget that you can pull in guest stars for one panel on speaking, and you don't have to pay the actor. So, yeah, you can pull in a cameo from anyone.
Since you signed that Drag Race contract and you're literally required to show up whenever they tell you to, wherever they tell you to, people will be wherever they want to be.
And you don't have to pay the per diem on this. So it's exciting to see all the things we're coming up with, and I'm excited to see what we will come up with over time.
If I was nice, I would have had it be Ellie Diamond, but sorry.
Well, you got to go with who the Americans are going to remember.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
This is round 1. This is game 1. So we got to make sure to reserve some stuff for our next game, too.
For the international editions.
And now that we'll
do that.
Now that we've been reminded that the girls can go out back of the studio to do some work, I think we've got a ton of options in terms of sabotage and mistakes that have been made.
Weather.
Ooh.
'Cause I always forget about them going outside. The only time I ever think about it is the clip that randomly shows up in my social media from season 7, where it's Katya, Pearl, and Ginger outside smoking
Yes.
with Katya in the knit yellow piece.
Yeah. I
Dude.
miss the smoking girl.
I really do too. They really, back in the day, they were still not afraid to show it, but as if we don't all know.
Oh my god! But Lexi coming in with the vape.
Yeah.
Same girl. I get it.
Same girl.
We should start crossing this over with our Grey's 911 content later in the year, and we can plan disasters into our drag draft game.
So
my
the drag
God.
queens experience disasters, and then we do a second draft of Grey's and 911 characters that have to roll to save them. Is that where we're going?
No.
Oh,
The answer
no.
is everyone at Drag Race. A speaker exploded and sent shards into
Yeah,
them. But if you
we got
remove their
shrapnel.
corset, they'll bleed out. So how do we do a surgery through the corset?
Yeah, no, I was
And then
thinking.
someone's
Corey,
yelling about
God damn, I
pronouns.
love yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Almost
you know,
done,
we
guys. You're
do
doing
we,
great. Thank you.
we do a double
I-
draft role playing game. I mean, you know, I think I could stat out most of the characters from Grey's. Give me time. I'll get through all of 911 now, and I guess I'll figure that part out too. But
Oh my God,
Actually,
a world
I-
where
you know,
one of the
I just restarted Grey's season 19 in advance of our coverage of Grey's coming up at the mid-season, and immediately Owen and Teddy yelling at each other. Love it, but I would love to see that man attempt drag.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there would
Pick
definitely
whichever
be
one.
like one of the drag queens would be like, I'm gonna put you in this.
I feel like Kevin McKidd must have done like Broadway Bears or something like that, where he was vaguely in a wig at some point,
Murder, yeah, he could do
Yeah.
that. He could do
or
Frank.
whatever the Scottish, you know, Edinburgh one act version
Haggis
of that
murder.
is. All right, Nico, are you ready? I could mug on Kevin McKidd a little while longer. I've seen all of Rome too.
I'm ready, but I do want to just say that I genuinely love that you might watch 911. I think you actually will get a lot out of the interesting character dynamics. But I do
only
love
care
the
about
idea.
Lisa E.
Oh my god, anything for Lisa Edelstein, just my entire life.
Exactly.
But I do think you can actually like gamify your fandom of most things as long as you always remember that these are all beautiful, wonderful, incredible performers who deserve to be respected, whether it's TV actors or reality contestants.
I mean, this is
math
what
is
Tori has shown us. You get an Excel spreadsheet together. You start putting some rubrics into action on television, and you can account for most things.
It's true. It's true. The things that I can get up to with some color coding and some careful Googling.
I have figured out how we can do a Tori Amos one too. It's nuts.
All right.
I want to say that these are. I actually was really surprised, and once again, it actually did come down to the cunt score for some choices.
Ooh.
So Jonah, you are going to be entering in none other than Nymphia Wind.
Are we shocked in a ball? Are we shocked?
TK, you are sending in Jada Essence Hall.
Ooh. Look over there.
Yeah.
Tori, I am so excited that you're sending in Morphine because I met Jada and Morphine at the same time, and now they're both here.
That's weak. Over for these hoes.
And I am so excited because, my God,
Oh my.
I will be entering in Raja. It's so great to see it. So just remind everybody, Raja did a Madonna look based on the Gigi Good look from the Madonna Rusical. Nymphia did an unbelievable American Promise in Solar Punk. Jada treated us all to a beautiful Annie Oakley Rusical tribute. And Morphine gave us a Glamazonian Airways tribute from her Rusical. So great job, ladies. Really excited. We are here to, as always, roll D20. I like this order.
Okay, so Nymphia versus Jada, Morphine
And
versus
Morphine
Raja.
versus Raja.
Okay.
You know what? I actually love this. This is like so many unbelievably talented performers, each with their own unique style. That's something else I love about this. I love imagining these unbelievable girls doing this for themselves, for charity, for clout, for whatever makes them happy the season they want to do it. I just miss these girls, so it's always exciting. So
I rolled 9.
This also happened to work out to 4 phenomenal seamstresses.
Yeah.
3 people here really well known for making their runway packages for their shows and how beautiful and amazing that can be when you have that ability. Because there's, as somebody who's dipped his toes into sewing, sewing itself is not easy. But even from that perspective, there's a very big difference of being a seamstress and a designer. And many of these girls have a beautiful eye for design and fashion. And I think that's incredible.
It's gorge. It's gorge. All right.
all right. So
Are you ready to tell us the?
So Nymphia versus Jada.
Woo!
We
I
will
rolled.
be doing our lip sync. To remind everybody, the lip sync is a straightforward thing. You roll your d20 and you add or subtract based on your results, Trinity, your lip sync score, and you go from there. So let's have the first 2 go up.
Nymphia versus Jada.
All right, what is our Nymphia score?
Oh, what did I get?
Yeah. What'd you roll?
I rolled a total of 16.
Ooh.
All right.
23.
Oh, yeah!
Ooh.
The very, very rare defeat for Nymphia win.
Natural 20 on this one. Go, Jada. You tiny, gorgeous bitch.
Nice.
All right, Tori, that means it is you and I, Raja, versus who did you have in the
Morphine.
All right,
Morphine
ready?
the Fiend. 1, 2, roll, and all right. My grand total comes to 8.
My grand total comes to 20.
I
I rolled a 17 with a 3 as my lip sync score, so it wasn't a natural 20. I'm very nervous. All right, that means Raja versus the unbelievable who'd you have in?
Oh, mine is
Jada.
Jada.
I want the all-star badge so bad. Okay. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
All right, my grand total
Okay, TK.
is 16.
I rolled another 20.
Someone's on a roll tonight. Go buy
What
them
a
auto numbers.
week.
Go buy
What
them
a week.
numbers.
I cannot be happier. There are no better or worse girls on this show. So anytime any girl wins, it is the night of it is the win of the night. I do want to say, just like last week, I wish we could give a badge to every girl, but no. And so excited. I want to congratulate Jada on
Go,
her
Jada.
win. So well
Look over
deserved.
there, you gorgeous
Go, Jada.
bitch.
Okay.
Unbelievable. So that
She's winning
brings...
from our living rooms today.
Oh, yes, she is. And I swear to God, I remember her being like, after that, I sort of sat in my living room, was like, all right, should I order a pizza?
Oh my God, I'd be opening up McDonald's being like, 2 double quarter pounders today. Thank you.
So that means Nico's team currently has Saphira with 1 badge, well deserved. Jonah's team has Rose, Nymphia, and Bianca with 1 badge each. Hat trick over there. They all have really tricky hats.
Ooh.
TK has double over here with Katya and Jada. A big ending in A situation over there. Wow, everybody ends in a vowel. Saphira, Rose, Nymphia, Bianca, Katya, Jada, and Tori's team with Roxy at 1 badge. But I will say that next week we're doing girl groups. So we'll get those songs out there, which means everybody is going to have the songs in advance. And they're going to be able to either write their girl's verse or say what their girl would basically do. I'm going a little crazy on these demos a little bit and having a good time. I'm rapping. I can't stop bringing it up. I'm rapping. It's terrible. Don't listen, but listen. So, all right.
Are
guys.
we going to be on the tracks?
It's really for my sake.
No.
It's an Anitra Sasha Colby thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be on the track? Sasha
No.
Colby goddess it up. Do you
Mhm.
not want to be on the track? Anitra then. Anitra is just so good.
Mhm.
Like a locust or whatever. So I then I still remember the song Lotus.
Lotus, but it was
Lotus.
not a very good song. It's
Ultimately, that's
Yeah.
one of the three that doesn't stick in my head, though I feel like a lot of people feel that way specifically about Mistress's song. So, a little bit of everything, because I'm a huge Anitra fan, big supporter of her all season. But no, guys, I'm having a great time. This is such a fun experiment, such a fun game. I love this. We're going to do girl groups next week. Like I said, me and Tori, 1 badge each. TK, 2 badges. Jonah, 3 badges. Anybody, any thoughts before we sign off?
I just think you're all great.
Anyone's game.
It's anyone's game. It is still tight. We have so many weeks ahead of us before we even get into the special weeks towards the end.
We are going to have such a great time. To all of our new fans that are joining in, it's so fun. We think you guys are great. So looking forward to more. And until next time, hey, triple badge. Where can everybody find you, Jonah?
You can find me and my shiny 3 badges at Peak Jonah all over the internet. Tori, where can people find you?
You can find me and these double badgies at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
All right. Hey, producer Kevo. We have had such a great time playing with you. Thank you for all your help making this game so incredible, so vibrant, so special. We think you are absolutely the bee's knees and everything in between. So where can everybody find you?
Well, you can find me on the socials at KEVO Really, of course. That's KEVO REALLY. And you can also find me over on our podcast feeds, such as X's for Podcast or HTML, where I know we're going to start ramping things back up. We got a lot of fun things that we have been watching lately that I know we want to talk about. So we're going to get back on that, and you can check all that out on our channel or on our podcast feeds. We're all over social media. So definitely, if you're on any social media, check out X's for Show. We're probably there.
Love it. TK, co-host extraordinaire. Now holder of 2 badges. You're a double badge man. That's as many badges as you have eyes. So
But more than I have ears.
This is like a riddle. This is like the Sphinx riddle.
That burn was I think you actually just won the library and the roast. So since all these books be burning, where can everybody find you?
You find me at TK Accidental, basically just on Blue Sky. I'm still on Instagram, but that's going to go away soon. So that's that. Nico, do you by any chance have a SoundCloud?
Oh,
Very curious. I don't know anything about this.
You guys might be able to check it out at NICO Action Music. That's NICOACTIONMUSIC. You guys can also check us out all over the interwebs at NICO Action Music here on YouTube, as well as HTML. That's Husbands Talking More or Less on all of your socials and podcasts, podcast feeds, Spotify, etc. Don't forget to also check out the feeds of this show, like X is for Podcast, where we talk about comics, and X is for Show here, where you can comment, like, and subscribe, get in on all of the draft race goodness, plus our live shows. And check me out at Nico Action and NICOACTION on Blue Sky. And also do us 3 favors, right? Number 1, you guys stay safe. It's a crazy world out there, but we like you so much. Number 2, be brave, because who you are is incredible. But we also need you guys to evolve daily, because who you were yesterday, incredible. Who you are today, amazing. But who you are tomorrow, that is the dream. And so until we come back to be part of the dream, you can see me punching my laptop aggressively as the show winds down. Let's fuck me out of here. I gotta go.